because you don't need a degree to charge 10K for your work. But if you're stuck thinking you do, that belief is draining your bank account. Most freelancers and service providers are underpaid. They aren't underpaid because they lack skill. However, they are underpaid because of their limiting beliefs. They're still stuck in the trap of thinking their value is tied to their credentials, certifications, or degrees. And today I'm going to challenge your limiting beliefs and help you change your mindset when it comes to charging more for your client projects. You'll look around at others in your space charging $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 or more, and you wonder, how are they doing that? They're not necessarily smarter. They don't seem to work harder. And some of them don't even have a skill level. So what's the difference? Well, the difference is they believe their work is worth that much, and you still don't. Not yet. But in this video, I'm going to help you change all that, because charging more isn't just about money. It's about respect, and it's about energy. It's about building a business that feeds you. It feeds you creatively, emotionally, and of course, financially. It feeds you instead of draining you. And we're going to talk about where this fear of charging what you're worth, where it comes from, how to reframe what actual value is, and what immediate steps that you can take to build a business where $10,000 projects aren't intimidating. They're actually the new normal. And you don't need to wait for permission. You don't need more degrees or more certifications or even more time. But what you do need is a new way of thinking. So if you're tired of being stuck at the same income, the same rates, the same grind, let's shift that mindset. Let's turn the limiting belief of I'm not qualified into this very liberating truth. I'm valuable because I create results. There's a belief that keeps you broke. So let's start with this tough truth. If you're still tying your pricing to what you think you're worth based off of degrees or certifications or your time in the game, then you're definitely selling yourself short. Because here's what happens. You think, well, I don't have a marketing degree or software degree, or I'm not certified in using this automation tool. So you automatically lower your rates. And that one thought right there costs you thousands every single month. And the crazy part is that your clients are not even asking for your credentials. This is all in your head. Tying your value to credentials is one of the biggest traps for freelancers and service-based business owners. It sounds like this: who am I to charge that much? Or I don't have the credentials that others have. Or I need one more course, one more certification. But let me ask you this question. Would you rather work with someone who is certified or someone who gets results? Exactly. Credentials might look good on paper, but in the real world, clients only care about outcomes. So if you help someone grow their revenue, if you help them save time, reduce stress, then those are the credentials that matter. So whatever your field of expertise is, if you've gotten results, that's what your prospects care about. They don't care about your diploma. So stop putting imaginary limits on your prices because you feel like you don't qualify. You're not trying to impress a university board. You're solving real problems for real people. Now, while we're here, let me plead with you to stop thinking in hourly rates and start thinking in measured results. Hourly thinking is one of the biggest income killers in service-based work. The reason is this: you cap your income the second you tie your value to your time. I mean, for easy math, let's say you charge $100 an hour and work 30 hours a week. That's $3,000 max. But what if your work makes the client $60,000? You're making 5% of the value that you deliver, and that's being generous. Results-based pricing or value-based pricing says, I help my clients get this result, and that's worth this much value. It's not about how long it takes. No, it's about the change that you create. And the better you get, the faster you work, that shouldn't penalize you. It should actually reward you. So the shift here is from time spent to value delivered. Also, stop waiting for permission to raise your prices. If you need permission, this is me giving you permission to raise your prices. You see, this one sneaks in silently. You think you have to wait until you've worked with X number of clients, or until someone tells you you're ready, or until you feel 100% confident. But that moment, it's never going to come on its own. And confidence doesn't come before you raise your prices. It actually comes after you raise your prices and once you realize that, oh, the sky didn't fall. So you have to take action first. And every time that you undercharge, you reinforce this belief that your work isn't worth more. However, every time you raise your prices and someone says yes, well, that previous belief cracks a little bit. And if you do it enough, it actually shatters it completely. And you start reinforcing the belief of the value that you're truly bringing to your clients. Now, even though I already give you permission, you don't need anyone's permission. Give yourself permission. All right, let's shift a little bit. I'm going to tell you the truth about value and pricing now. But before we do, let me clear something up right now. Most people are charging way too little because they truly don't understand what it is that their clients value. And if you don't understand what your clients actually care about, you'll keep underpricing yourself and hoping that someone just gets it. But let me show you how to flip that on its head. You see, clients, they care about outcomes. They don't care about your background. And I know you think a degree or certification or years of experience are what makes someone legitimate. But your client, they're not paying for your backstory. They're paying for their outcome. They want more leads, or they want higher conversions, or they want more time, less stress, better systems, a better body. Like whatever it is that you help them with, that's what they want. And if you help them get those things, they will pay. I've never had a client ask to see my resume, but you do know what they do? Ask me. They say, how fast can we get this live? Or what results have you gotten before? Or can you really automate this entire thing for me? You're thinking about your past, but they're thinking about their future and they want confidence that you can help them with their future. It's a hard pill to swallow if you're used to hustling for every single dollar. When you price cheaply, you actually attract people who want to nickel and dime everything that you do. They don't see you as a partner, they see you as a vendor or maybe even just a tool. However, a wonderful side effect of charging more is that premium pricing actually attracts premium clients. You see, when you price your services high, you actually position yourself as a pro. You position yourself as someone who brings real transformation. Premium clients don't just want a task done, they want a solution. They want peace of mind. They want you to handle it. And when you charge premium, you can deliver better. You're not drowning in low ticket chaos. You've gotten space to think, space to plan, space to do your best work. So don't just raise your price, raise your standards. You need to understand that undercharging leads to dissatisfaction by your clients and it leads to burnout for you. And the ironic thing is that when you charge too little, your clients will actually leave you or you wish they would leave you. Because when you charge too little, you have to chase too many clients. You have to accept low value work for low value pay, and you're unable to get everything done, and you don't provide the results that your clients are actually looking for. And there's this lie floating around that charging less builds trust or it makes things easier to get started. But that's really just the fast lane to becoming resentful. Because here's what actually happens. You land a client because you quote it low, because you're trying to be affordable. But then halfway through the project, you realize that you're doing $5,000 worth of work for $500. Now you're frustrated, you're tired, you're over it. And the worst part, they don't even appreciate the work that you're putting in. They aren't grateful for this extra work that you're doing. Why? Well, because people value what they pay for. And when they pay more, they pay attention, they take your advice seriously, and they follow through with their end of things when you need something from them. See, undercharging doesn't make people grateful. It could make them suspicious. It could make them wonder if you're really worth it. So if you're burning yourself out trying to over deliver at bargain bin prices, you're not building loyalty. You're actually going to build bitterness inside of yourself. So please stop that cycle now. Charge what reflects the value that you're providing, not the hours you're putting in. Show up like the pro that you are and watch how differently people will treat you. So now that we've called out limiting beliefs and we've exposed the truth about what clients actually care about, let's talk about how you can actually make the shift into a high ticket mindset. This is where you kick your limiting beliefs about needing a degree or certification or anything else to charge more. You just kick it to the curb. And you have to be able to get your clients results. If you aren't sure you can, then you can work on your skill set. But don't minimize your skill just because you don't have some official piece of paper from somewhere. All right. So this is where your mindset becomes your method for success. You need to choose a price that makes you smile. And the next time you're pricing a project, seriously think of a number that makes you smile. I mean, I'm talking about truly smile. And once you have that number, add 20% to it. I mean, that simple rule right there will help you actually pitch the higher number. And it's a simple rule, but it's going to feel uncomfortable. But I want you to think about a project that you'd love to take on right now. So, what's the price that would make you smile if the client said yes? Not just, oh, that's a fair price. I'm talking, I can't believe I get to get paid to do what I love. All right. So, what's that number? Do you have it? All right. Take that number, add 20% to it, times that number by 1.2. Because you'll be glad that you did when the client says yes. You'll realize that you've been undercharging and that this 20% is your margin, it's your bonus. It's your stretch zone that's actually going to help you turn into your new normal. This number, 20%, helps you level up, helps you own this is your pricing. So stop pricing from fear and start pricing from freedom. Now, you need to listen closely because this next part is key. You're not charging more just to charge more. Okay? You're not just throwing a bunch of numbers out there just because. No, instead, you're charging more because what you deliver now is actually worth more. Well, how is it worth more? Well, here's your new goal. You need to deliver 10 times the value of what you charge. So if you charge $10,000, make sure your client walks away with at least $100,000 of impact. Now, this could be revenue, time saved, processes built, stress relieved, a combination of them all. It doesn't really matter. But you need to stop thinking about your effort and start thinking about their outcome. And this is the ultimate value-based pricing mindset. You're not selling tasks. You're selling transformation. You're not trading time. You're trading solutions. And the magic is here. When you lead with that value, then price actually becomes a non-issue because they're not hiring you because you're the cheapest. Instead, they're hiring you because you're the most valuable. Now, here's the other side of that 10x rule. Not only should your client get 10x the value, but you should try and strive to figure out how you can be doing 1/10 of the work that you did in the past to accomplish that. That's right. You need to build systems so it only takes 10% of the effort. Because if you're charging $5,000 for something and it takes you 50 hours to deliver, that's still only hourly thinking in disguise. But if you can deliver that same result in 5 hours, thanks to systems, templates, automations, and just experience, then you actually become dangerous. And that's leverage. And that's where real businesses are actually built. because now you're not just a freelancer trading hours, you're a service provider with streamlined systems. Okay. You're running an agency, not just doing a project here and there. And that is how you actually scale. That's how you create margin. And that's how you get out of the always busy, but always broke cycle. And you actually move into obtaining real and repeatable revenue. So let's cement in this new mindset. Price what makes you smile and then add 20%. Deliver 10 times the value and figure out how to deliver that with 10% of the effort that's taken you in the past. I mean, that's the formula for high ticket confidence. And that's where your mind needs to be focused on how can I provide 10 times the value and takes me 10% of the time that it took me in the past. That's the shift from can I charge this to well, this is what the investment requires. And now you're not just hoping that someone hires you, you're actually choosing the right clients at the right price with the right mindset. All right, so let's take a breath. You've made it through the three biggest shifts that you need to make if you want to charge $10,000 and actually feel great about doing it. You've called out the limiting beliefs. You've called out those lies in your head about needing degrees or certifications or permission. You've learned the truth about what clients actually care about, which are results, not resumes. And you started to build a new mindset where your pricing reflects your value, not your hours. But here's the thing. It's one thing to watch this video. It's something else entirely to actually live it. And the real work starts the next time a potential client asks you, so what's the price? And in that moment, you have a choice. You can shrink back and give them the same old number that's kept you stuck, or you can smile and say the number that reflects the true value to the client. And it may be a number that makes you a little nervous at first, but it's a number that opens the door to a business that fuels you. And once you start doing that consistently, it's going to shift. You're going to stop chasing low budget leads. You stop explaining why you're worth it. And you stop burning out doing $50,000 worth of work for $500. You become the person who sets the tone. You walk into client conversations differently. But even then, there's one more piece of the puzzle. Because if you're going to charge more, you also need to present your offer with confidence. And that's why I want you to watch this next. Get paid to present proposals and pitch prospects. Yes, you can charge just to pitch. And in this video, I'll show you how. So click here to watch it now. Get paid to pitch. So if this video shifted your thinking, that one's going to actually help you cash it in. So I'll see you in the next video.